Hey guys, it's Katie. Welcome to my channel. Today I just wanted to do a quick video talking about the new harassment laws that were passed in France. These are catcalling laws which are supposed to help prevent, they called it gender discriminatory harassment on the streets. We all know what gender discriminatory harassment means. This is probably only going to be, not probably, it will be, only harassment that is perpetrated by men onto women. There will obviously be no punishment for women who harass men because society just doesn't do that, and that's a problem for another day, but you know, feminism though. So this law was passed. It is fines of $150 to $850 for gender-based harassment on the street, basically catcalling, street harassment, things like that. Now, what defines catcalling and street harassment? No one really knows. The law doesn't really set it out very well. From what I've read on this, I haven't really read anything about what this pertains to. What kind of talk this is. I'm just not sure. You know, there was that video that came out, I believe it was 2 years ago, with that woman who was walking around New York City, and she was documenting all her street harassment, catcalling that she had gotten, that she would get all throughout walking around the city. She walked around the city for probably 10 to 12 hours. She got about 10 minutes of footage, and in that footage were things like, "Hey beautiful, hey how are you, how are you doing girl," things like that. Okay, I get not everyone's comfortable with strangers talking to them in public. I'm awkward and uncomfortable, and I don't really enjoy strangers talking to me in public. However, I would not consider this harassment if someone asked me how I was, if someone said, "Hey beautiful," you know, if I was uncomfortable with this situation, I would probably just awkwardly laugh it off, smile, say hi, and leave the situation. I don't like talking to strangers. I don't like strange social situations, but I am aware that these people are usually not trying to harass or hurt me in any way. They're just generally being pleasant or being a little strange, maybe in my opinion, but that doesn't mean they mean any harm to me by it. Now, this was brought about because there was a young woman in spring who was walking home from, I guess she was walking home from work. She passed by a restaurant, and a man in the restaurant was calling after her, calling to her. I'm not quite sure what he was saying to her, but it was harassing. And she turned around to confront him for continuing to talk to him and continuing to talk to her and harass her while she was trying to walk away. And he ended up assaulting her. He slapped her in the face. Now, as much as I say, you know, that people who talk to other people on the street probably don't mean any harm, it is not okay to assault anyone for any purpose. There is no reason to ever slap or hit someone because they simply do not want to talk to you, or they maybe are confronting you for how you're acting towards them. There's honestly no reason for it. This incident should have never happened, and this woman should have never been assaulted for being in this situation. That being said, a law that would end up putting fines for supposed street harassment, catcalling, things like that. I'm not sure how this is supposed to curb assaults that may happen, like in this rare case when a woman confronts a man for harassing her. Now, I guess what I really don't understand about this is France already had a $150 fine set in place for people who catcalled or sexually harassed people on the streets. I don't know how much this was enforced. I don't know how well this was enforced. Again, I don't know what they're considering catcalling and street harassment. Obviously, this $150 fine was not enough to, as they say this is supposed to, like, what is the word I'm looking for? This is supposed to help stop street harassment. This is going to curb assaults that would happen based on the street harassment. Obviously, assault is already illegal. You already are not allowed to assault or hurt anyone. Unfortunately, these crimes do happen. I am not sure how a fine on catcalling and harassment in the streets or gender-based harassment is supposed to stop anyone from assaulting anyone else. People who are okay with harming other people or assaulting other people, hurting them, are clearly already in that mindset that it's okay. So I don't understand how a fine on street harassment is supposed to curb assaults. I guess the hope is that if someone sees a woman out on the streets and they are generally maybe a violent person or a tempered person, they would see that person walking down the streets and they would think, okay, I'm not going to catcall this person, or I'm not going to try and talk to this woman because of these fines. People like this who would think it's okay to constantly harass a woman and then slap her in the face obviously would not care if there's a fine. They may not even think they're doing anything wrong by trying to talk to this woman. So I just don't get what this fine is supposed to be for. Now, I guess this fine is going to be enforced by police officers who may see the encounter happen. It's basically going to be enforced almost like you would enforce littering laws, loitering laws, things like that. If you see somebody littering or loitering in places where they're not supposed to be, if a police officer sees this, they will stop this person. They will give them a ticket. They will give them a fine for doing these things they're not supposed to do. And I guess this law is supposed to work in that way. Now, I guess it is up to the police officer's discretion as to what counts as street harassment or catcalling. This can be a pretty broad blanket thing. I don't know how they're going to determine this. Overall, I don't think this law is going to help curb any sort of uncomfortableness or harassment on the streets. I don't think this is going to curb rare assaults that may happen from people who are harassing people on the streets. People who are harassing people on the streets, which would lead to assault, they would assault somebody. They don't care about the laws very much in the first place. And I don't know how this is supposed to help. Are people going to feel uncomfortable by a man saying hello to them or asking them how they are, and are they going to find a police officer? Obviously this wouldn't happen in all cases, but there could very well be cases where a person is fined for something honestly harmless, meaningless, not real harassment. So I guess I just don't understand the law. I find it very strange, almost laughable. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this. If you think this is a good idea, a bad idea. Let me know if you like this video. This is kind of my first one. I just really wanted to do a take on what I think about this event. I would like to do more videos on current events and probably even dabble in mystery, true crime, things like that, things I'm passionate about. Yeah, so let me know what you think down in the comments of this video, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!